Be me, 24-year-old software engineer, working from home. Meet this girl Sarah on a dating app. She's cute as hell and we hit it off immediately. We text for like 2 weeks straight, conversations flowing naturally about everything from movies to our deepest fears. She sends me this long paragraph at 2 a.m. about how she feels this incredible connection with us. I'm thinking, damn, this might actually be something real for once. We finally set up a date at this cozy Italian restaurant downtown. Get there 15 minutes early because I'm nervous as hell and want to make a good impression. She shows up looking even better than her photos, wearing this blue dress that matches her eyes perfectly. Dinner goes amazing. We're laughing, talking about our childhoods, sharing pasta like some cheesy movie scene. She holds my hand across the table and tells me she hasn't felt this comfortable with someone in years. Walk her to her car. She kisses me goodnight, and I'm floating on cloud 9 driving home. Text her when I get home saying I had an amazing time and can't wait to see her again. She responds immediately with heart emojis and me too, tonight was perfect. Wake up the next morning to a text at 6 a.m. We're soulmates. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. I'm a bit caught off guard by how intense that is, but I respond warmly because, hey, I really like this girl too. Try to call her later that afternoon to plan our next date. Number is blocked. Check the dating app. She's unmatched me. Instagram, Twitter, everything. Blocked across the board. I'm sitting there staring at my phone like what the actual hell just happened. Spend the whole weekend confused as shit, wondering if I did something wrong or if this was all some elaborate prank. Monday morning, get a text from an unknown number. Hey, this is Sarah. I'm so sorry about ghosting you. Can we talk? Different number than before, but definitely her name. I'm hesitant but curious, so I agree to meet for coffee. Show up at the Starbucks we agreed on, and there she is. But something feels different about her energy. She sits down and immediately starts apologizing profusely, saying she has something important to tell me. I have dissociative identity disorder. I should have told you before, but I was scared you'd run away. I've heard of it, but don't know much beyond what I've seen in movies, so I just listen. She explains that she has multiple distinct personalities that take control at different times, each with their own name and characteristics. The Sarah I went on the date with was her, but the one who blocked me was someone else entirely named Victoria. Victoria apparently doesn't trust men at all because of past trauma and takes control when the situation feels too intimate or vulnerable. I'm processing all this information while trying not to look completely shocked because I don't want to make her feel worse. She tells me there are 4 main personalities. Sarah, who I know, Victoria, the protective one, a younger one named Emma, who's playful and childlike, and Riley, who's completely emotionless and analytical. She shows me her phone where she's documented all the different personalities and their traits in a notes app to keep track. I ask her why she's telling me all this now. Because I really like you, and Sarah wants to give this a real shot, but you deserve to know what you're getting into. I sit there for a moment, weighing everything in my mind. This is way more complicated than any relationship I've ever been in, but something about her honesty and vulnerability makes me want to try. Tell her I appreciate her trusting me with this, and I'd like to continue seeing her if she's willing to help me understand. Her face lights up with relief, and I can see tears forming in her eyes. We spend the next 2 hours at that coffee shop with her, explaining how her DID works, what triggers switches, and how I can tell who's fronting at any given time. She gives me a little cheat sheet. Sarah uses heart emojis, Victoria is blunt and cold, Emma types with lots of exclamation points and uses cute nicknames. Riley is formal and doesn't use contractions. Over the next few weeks, I start encountering the different personalities. First time I meet Emma is when I pick up the phone and hear this super bubbly voice going, "Hi, hi, hi, Sarah told me all about you." She wants to go to an arcade and get ice cream, which feels weird because I'm technically on a date with a 24-year-old woman who's acting like she's 12. But I roll with it. We play skee ball and racing games, and honestly, it's kind of fun in a nostalgic way. She tells me about her favorite stuffed animals and how she wishes Sarah would let her front more often because the world is too serious and boring. When we're walking back to the car, she suddenly stops mid-sentence and her whole demeanor changes. "Why are you indulging this childish behavior?" Voice is completely flat, no emotion whatsoever. This must be Riley. I try to explain that I'm just trying to get to know all parts of her. That's illogical. We're separate individuals sharing a body. You can't date all of us. She proceeds to quiz me about my intentions, my career prospects, whether I've considered the long-term implications of pursuing a relationship with someone with DID. It's like being interrogated by a robot, every question clinical and probing. I answer as honestly as I can, feeling like I'm defending my thesis to a particularly harsh professor. After about 20 minutes of this, she blinks and Sarah's back. Oh God, Riley fronted, didn't she? I'm so sorry, she can be a lot. I reassure her it's okay, even though I'm mentally exhausted from that conversation. The real challenge comes when I meet Victoria for the first time in person. We're supposed to have dinner at my place. I spent all afternoon cooking this fancy chicken dish. She arrives and immediately I can tell something's off from the way she's standing in the doorway. You think cooking dinner is going to impress me? I've seen this manipulation tactic before. Her eyes are cold, arms crossed defensively, everything about her body language screaming hostility. I try to stay calm and tell her I just wanted to do something nice. Sarah is too trusting. She doesn't see how men always have ulterior motives. She proceeds to grill me about my past relationships, why they ended, whether I've ever cheated or lied. Every answer I give, she twists it into something suspicious. I dated someone for 3 years in college. So you're capable of long-term manipulation. I've been single for 6 months? Red flag, probably we're just dumped and are rebounding. I'm trying so hard not to lose my patience because I understand she's coming from a place of protection. She goes through my apartment like she's a detective, checking my bookshelf, looking at photos on my wall. Who's this girl in the photo with you? It's my sister at her graduation, I explain this calmly. Convenient answer. This goes on for almost an hour, her finding fault with everything, trying to catch me in some kind of lie. Finally, I just sit down on the couch and tell her straight up that I can't prove my intentions. She'll just have to decide whether to trust Sarah's judgment. She stares at me for a long moment, face unreadable. Fine, but I'm watching you. One wrong move and I'm blocking you again. Permanently this time. Then she just walks out, leaving me alone with the dinner for two getting cold on the table. Text Sarah later, asking if she's okay. I'm so sorry about Victoria. She's really protective of us. Give her time. Over the next 2 months, I navigate this complex web of personalities. Some days I wake up to sweet texts from Sarah with plans for our next date. Other days it's curt messages from Victoria telling me to back off. Emma will randomly call me asking if we can go feed ducks at the park or watch cartoons. Riley will send me articles about DID and ask me to read them so I'm properly educated on the condition. My friends think I'm crazy for pursuing this relationship. My buddy Jake sits me down one night at a bar and asks me point blank why I'm putting myself through this. Dude, there are literally millions of women out there without this level of complexity. Why her? I try to explain that when I'm with Sarah, like really with Sarah, it feels different than anything I've ever experienced. Yeah, but you're not just dating Sarah. You're dating 4 different people who all have veto power over your relationship. He's not wrong, but I can't bring myself to walk away. My mom calls me one Sunday and I end up telling her about the situation because I need advice. She's quiet for a long moment before saying, "Honey, love isn't always simple. If she makes you happy and she's working on herself, that's what matters. But Mom, some days I don't even know which version of her I'm going to get." Welcome to relationships, sweetheart. Everyone has different sides to them. Hers are just more defined. Her perspective actually helps me reframe how I'm thinking about all this. Things get even more complicated around the 3-month mark. Sarah and I are getting really close, talking about introducing me to her family, making plans for a weekend trip. Then Victoria fronts during what's supposed to be a romantic dinner. This is moving too fast. Sarah's being reckless with our safety. I ask what she means by safety. Emotional safety. Every time we let someone in, we get hurt. It's a pattern. She tells me about their ex-boyfriend, who knew about the DID and used it against them, would deliberately trigger switches to avoid arguments. He'd manipulate Emma into doing things by treating her like an actual child who didn't know better. When Victoria would front and call him out, he'd wait for Sarah to come back and convince her that Victoria was being paranoid. The whole story makes my blood boil because I can't imagine taking advantage of someone like that. I tell Victoria that I understand her fear, but I'm not that guy and I need her to give me a chance to prove it. Everyone says that. I know, but I mean it. What can I do to show you? She thinks for a moment, and I can see her guard coming down just slightly. Consistency. Don't treat us differently based on who's fronting. Don't have favorites. I promise her I'll try my best, though internally I'm thinking that's easier said than done. The next few weeks, I make a conscious effort to engage with each personality authentically. When Emma wants to color in coloring books while watching Disney movies, I sit with her and we talk about why she likes certain characters. When Riley fronts, I have actual conversations with her about psychology, science, philosophy, instead of just waiting for Sarah to come back. With Victoria, I'm patient with her suspicion. I answer her questions no matter how accusatory they sound. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, things start to shift. Emma starts calling me her best friend and draws me pictures of us hanging out. Riley actually smiles once when I bring her a book on neuroscience I thought she'd find interesting. Victoria stops blocking me randomly, though she still keeps me at arm's length. Then something happens that changes everything. I get a call at 3 a.m. from Sarah's phone, but it's Victoria's voice and she sounds panicked. "We need help, something's wrong." I'm immediately awake, asking what happened, pulling on clothes. We're having rapid switching. Can't control it. Happening every few minutes. I can hear the fear in her voice, which is jarring because Victoria never sounds scared. I rush over to her apartment. She gave me a spare key for emergencies. Find her sitting on the bathroom floor, looking completely disoriented. Over the next hour, I witness switches happening faster than I've ever seen. Sarah crying about stress at work, then Emma asking where her teddy bear is, then Riley analyzing what's causing the rapid switching, then Victoria angry at all of them for losing control. I just sit with her, bringing water, keeping the lights dim, speaking calmly to whoever fronts. Eventually things stabilize and Sarah comes back, exhausted but coherent. "You stayed." Of course I stayed. Our ex left the first time this happened, said it was too much to handle. She curls up against me on the bathroom floor, and I just hold her while she cries. I'm not going anywhere. After that night, something fundamental shifts in our relationship. Victoria stops viewing me as a threat and starts treating me like an ally. She'll actually text me first sometimes, asking if I can take them to appointments or help with things. Riley opens up more, tells me about the trauma that caused the DID in the first place, the therapy they're all going through. Emma trusts me enough to be vulnerable, talks about how scary it is to be the young one in an adult body. And Sarah, she starts talking about the future with more certainty. I know this isn't a normal relationship, but I can't imagine doing life without you now. We're sitting in my car after seeing a movie, her hand in mine. I need to tell you something, and I'm scared of how you'll react. My heart drops because that's never a good way to start a sentence. The goal of our therapy is integration. Eventually, the personalities might merge into one cohesive person. I'm quiet, processing this information. Would that person still be you? Kind of. She'd have all our memories, all our traits, but she'd be more whole, less fragmented. Would she still want to be with me? I don't know. That's what scares me. We sit in silence for a while, both grappling with this uncertain future. Whatever happens, I'm here. Integrated or not, I care about you, all of you. She kisses me then, soft and desperate, like she's trying to memorize the moment. Months go by, we settle into our complicated but oddly functional dynamic. Her therapist tells her that integration might not happen, that some people with DID live their whole lives with distinct personalities. Sarah seems relieved by this, though Riley points out that they should remain open to all therapeutic outcomes. We're at the 9-month mark when something unexpected happens. I wake up to a good morning text, nothing unusual there. But as the day goes on, something feels different about the way she's texting. The tone is familiar, but also new, like a blend of all the personalities I've come to know. When I see her that evening, I immediately notice the change. She's smiling like Emma, but has Victoria's confident posture and Sarah's warm eyes. "Hey, so something happened in therapy this week." My stomach drops, worried this is the integration talk again. Riley and Emma integrated. It wasn't planned, it just kind of happened during a session. I don't know how to feel. Emma and Riley are both people I care about, and now they're gone. Don't look so sad. They're not gone, they're just different now, combined. She explains that the new personality that emerged from their integration has Emma's curiosity and joy, but Riley's intelligence and rationality. Her name is Lily, and I get to meet her properly over the next few weeks. Lily is fascinating. She has this childlike wonder about complex topics. We'll get excited about quantum physics in a way that's both adorable and intellectually stimulating. She bakes cookies while listening to podcasts about space exploration. She's everything Emma and Riley were, but harmonized in a way that feels natural. This leaves Sarah and Victoria as the remaining distinct personalities, plus Lily. Another few months pass. I'm introduced to her family who know about the DID and are wary of me at first. Her sister pulls me aside at a family dinner. Our parents weren't great when she first told them about the DID. It took years for them to accept it. If you hurt her, you'll have all of us to deal with. I assure her that I have no intention of hurting anyone, that I'm in this for the long haul. Good. because she really loves you. All of them do. Even Victoria, though she'd never admit it. Speaking of Victoria, she starts mellowing out as time goes on. She still has her moments of suspicion and protectiveness, but they're less frequent and less intense. One day she fronts while we're watching TV, and instead of interrogating me, she just sits quietly. Thank you for being patient with me, with us. It's the closest thing to an apology or acknowledgement I've gotten from her. You were just protecting your family. I get it. Sarah chose well. Coming from Victoria, that's basically a declaration of approval. We're approaching the 1-year anniversary when something major happens in therapy. Sarah calls me right after her session, voice shaking with emotion. Victoria and I are integrating, not Riley and Emma style, but we're blending. The therapist thinks it's because we've both healed enough to not need the separation anymore. I ask her how she feels about it. Scared, excited, sad to lose Victoria's strength, but happy to feel more whole. The integration happens gradually over several weeks. I watch as Sarah starts exhibiting Victoria's assertiveness, while Victoria's texts start including heart emojis. The boundaries between them blur until one day she tells me they're fully integrated. I'm still Sarah, but I have all of Victoria's memories and strengths now. We're one person. There's still Lily, who seems content to remain as her own personality. The therapist says some systems are meant to be multiple, and that's okay. Lily and I work well together. So now there's Sarah, who's stronger and more confident than ever, and Lily, who's this perfect blend of intellect and whimsy. We're at the 15-month mark when we're grocery shopping together, and Lily fronts in the cereal aisle. Do you think Sarah would marry you if you asked? I nearly dropped the box of pasta I'm holding. That's a pretty big question to ask in the middle of grocery shopping. Riley's analytical skills say you're statistically a good match, and Emma's heart says you make us happy. So, would you? I tell her that's a conversation I need to have with Sarah directly. She's listening. We're co-conscious right now. I don't know whether to laugh or cry at the absurdity of being put on the spot about marriage in front of the Cheerios. That night, Sarah and I have a long talk about the future. She tells me that having DIED means relationships are complicated, that even now with just 2 personalities, I'm signing up for something unconventional. I know that. I've known that since coffee shop conversation number 1. Doesn't change how I feel. Lily wants to know if you're going to propose. She's very impatient about it. I laugh because, of course, Lily would be direct about it. I've been thinking about it, waiting for the right moment. There's never going to be a perfect moment with us. We're chaos by nature. She's not wrong. 2 weeks later, I take them both on a hike to this overlook, where you can see the entire city. I packed a picnic, got her favorite wine, the whole romantic setup. Sarah is fronting when we get to the top and we sit watching the sunset. I've been thinking about what you said, about there never being a perfect moment. Okay? You're right, but this feels pretty damn close. I pull out the ring I've been carrying around for weeks, my hands shaking. I'm not proposing to just Sarah or just Lily. I'm proposing to both of you, to all the parts that make you who you are. Her eyes are already tearing up. I want to spend my life navigating this beautiful, complicated, unconventional relationship. Will you marry me? She's crying now, nodding, and I can see the moment Lily switches in. Yes, oh my gosh, yes. Riley would have calculated the probability of success, but I'm just so happy. I slide the ring on her finger and she tackles me in a hug. We lie there on the blanket, watching the stars come out, and she switches back to Sarah. You really want this? All of it? The therapy appointments, the occasional rapid switching, the uncertainty? I want you. However you come, whatever that looks like. I'm all in. She kisses me then, soft and sweet and full of promise. The next few months are a whirlwind of planning. Lily wants a colorful, whimsical wedding, but Sarah wants something more elegant and classic. We compromise on a garden wedding with pops of color, elegant but fun. Her sister is the maid of honor. My buddy Jake is my best man, despite his initial reservations about the relationship. Man, I was wrong about her, about all of this. You two are solid. The wedding planning is chaotic because sometimes I'm discussing flower arrangements with Sarah and she'll switch mid-conversation and Lily will want to add balloon animals. But we make it work. We always make it work. Her therapist tells us that the stability of our relationship has been incredibly healing. Having someone who accepts and loves all parts of you is powerful. It's helping them integrate in healthy ways. One night, about 2 months before the wedding, Sarah and I are lying in bed. I need to tell you something, and I need you to hear me out completely. My heart rate picks up because serious conversations at night are always nerve-wracking. Lily is starting to integrate with me. Not forced, not sudden, but the lines are blurring. I stay quiet, letting her explain. My therapist thinks that by the time we get married, it might just be me. One cohesive person with all the memories and traits of everyone who came before. How do you feel about that? Ready. For the first time since I was diagnosed, I feel ready to be whole. I pull her closer, kissing her forehead. Then I'm ready too. Over the next weeks, I watch the transformation happen. Lily fronts less and less, and when she does, she's more and more like Sarah. Sarah starts displaying Lily's enthusiasm and curiosity naturally. No longer feeling like a switch, but just part of who she is. 3 weeks before the wedding, I wake up to a text. Good morning, love. It's me, just me. Lily and I finished integrating last night. I remember being her, being Victoria, being Emma and Riley, but I'm whole now. I call her immediately, needing to hear her voice. Are you okay? Are you still you? I'm more me than I've ever been. I'm everyone I was supposed to be. There's a confidence in her voice I've never heard before, a completeness. When I see her later that day, she's radiant. She has Sarah's warmth, Victoria's strength, Riley's intelligence, Emma's joy, and Lily's wonder all rolled into one person. She's still her, but she's more her, if that makes any sense. Do you still want to marry me, now that it's just me? I laugh because it's such a ridiculous question. I fell in love with every version of you. Having them all in one person is just more efficient. She smacks my arm playfully, grinning. You're such an idiot. You're idiot. Damn right. The wedding day arrives, and she walks down the aisle looking like an angel. In her eyes, I can see traces of everyone she was. Victoria's determination, Emma's joy, Riley's wisdom, Lily's wonder, and Sarah's love. When we say our vows, I tell her that I'm marrying all of her. Every piece, every memory, every part that made her who she is. She tells me that I gave her the safety to heal, the space to integrate, and the love to become whole. There's not a dry eye in the venue. At the reception, her sister gives a toast about how she never thought her sibling would find someone who could handle the complexity of loving someone with DID. But this idiot right here proved us all wrong. He didn't just accept her, he celebrated every part of her. Jake gives a speech about how I'm the happiest he's ever seen me. Love isn't about finding someone easy. It's about finding someone worth it, and she's worth it. We dance to our first dance song, and she whispers in my ear. Victoria says thank you for never giving up. Emma says you're her favorite. Riley says statistically, we're a great match. Lily says she loves you. And what does Sarah say? Sarah says she can't wait to spend forever with you. My face when I realized that getting blocked after being called a soulmate led to the most meaningful relationship of my life. That feel when you take a chance on something complicated and it becomes the best decision you ever made.